have found the Genesis frequency. This is Dr. Stephen J. Kazmina welcoming you in to another episode of a show that focuses on your whole life prosperity and success. Whole life prosperity and success by cooperating with the universal laws that are available to each and every one of us. This is Quantum Leap Goal Achievement, radical personal transformation, whole life prosperity and success. Now, stay tuned for another exciting episode that'll move the needle in your life from where you are now to where you want to be. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day it may be, wherever you are in the world. When you hit that play button, so glad you did. So glad you found the Genesis Frequency Podcast. This is Dr. Cause and Effect, Dr. Stephen J. Kazmina, coming at you with another episode here asking you, what did you decide? What did you decide that you want to be, do, and have in your life? Let's back up for a minute. Last week, I started asking you, hey, what are you going to set for your intention for the year ahead? Start thinking about it now. As I record this, we're deep into the last quarter of the year. Couple months left, less than a couple of months left, and now is the time to make the decision, to investigate, to explore what's been tapping on the door as longing and discontent for something more. And I gave you some exercises how you can explore this, making a list of everything you want to experience in your life, looking at your life through the lens of what you want personally, what you want professionally, what you want in your small business, what you want in your corporation, on your corporate team, and your corporate culture. All of that. I invited you to look at relationships, both the personal and the intimate relationships and your relationships with other people. Is there something missing there that you long for? I invited you to look at health and physical fitness. Is there some goal or improvement you want to experience in that area of your life? What about your finances? What about time and money freedom? Maybe you want to start that business. Maybe you just want something for you. Maybe it's that yacht. Maybe it's that home on the golf course. Maybe it's that vacation place on the beach or that home on the beach. Maybe it's to travel around the world or live on a condominium ocean liner. Whatever it is, I just invited you to start making a list about all those things. Now, backing up, let's get clear on something. This show and everything I talk about is for you, whether you are looking at your life through the lens of just an individual, what do I want for me? Whether you're looking and listening and thinking about what do you want in your small business. Maybe you're an entrepreneur, maybe you have a small business enterprise and you listen to personal development and professional development and leadership development podcasts because you want to grow, you want to improve. I hope you do. I'm just very passionate about all of that. Maybe you're in the corporate world. Maybe you love what you do and you're on a corporate team. And it doesn't matter if you're on a corporate team that's frontline, consumer facing, or in the boardroom, setting the sales, setting the direction, coming up with a purpose, mission, vision, and all of that. It all contributes to culture. So when I ask these questions, these apply to every area of your life, and I'm speaking really to everyone out there. And when I asked the question, it was really kind of a loaded question. What did you decide? What did you decide when it came to what you want to create in your life for next year? Most people have a real problem with making a decision. Yeah, it's true. I take clients, whether they're, working on something for themselves or it's a corporate client or a small business owner. I take clients through a 6 to 12 month program working, like it says in my intro, on quantum leap goal achievement, radical personal transformation, radical personal and professional transformation, radical corporate transformation, radical small business transformation, and quantum leaps when it comes to goal achievement. What exactly does that mean? Well, it means moving from where you are, at least closer to where you want to be. Sometimes skipping a couple steps, right? Getting out of your own way so you can make that leap, that big leap, that take those giant steps instead of not always little baby steps. Yeah, sometimes we have to do that when we have to figure some things out, but quantum leaps, moving you rapidly from where you are to where you want to be, and it can be done. And one of the biggest obstacles, and this is what I talk about with people, people reach out and they call me and they say, "Hey, I got this goal and I want to get here, and I'm here, and I get to a certain point, and I always get stuck here." Well, I help with that. That's one of the things that I do. And one of the biggest problems, I should say, in the beginning is when I'm doing the discovery work, helping people decide what they really want to experience in their life, is making that decision, deciding what they want. So I'm in this process, and I bring people, into my programs, or I do workshops, or I do keynote speaking, and I talk to individuals later, or people make appointments with me all the time. And I take them through that exercise I shared with you last week. List everything you want. List everything you want in every area of your life, right? And then I invited you to walk away and then come back to it and see what speaks to you the loudest energetically. And I have a number of other exercises that I give to individuals, number of other questions I run by individuals to help them find that purpose, that place, that passion, that what's missing. And boy, so often I'll spend so much time because people just can't make a decision. And a big part of the work that I do, I use a lot of Bob Proctor material from the Proctor Gallagher Institute, being a Proctor Gallagher, certified consultant. And a piece that I absolutely love, and I use this in the beginning, often very early on when I'm working with someone, is Bob Proctor's article on decision. I'm not going to read the whole thing, it's quite lengthy, but it's very powerful. And everything that we look at really in personal development, every quality course, every quality book is, well, I should say, has a section of focus on decision. I mean, look at Think and Grow Rich. There's a whole chapter on decision. Look at Shane Kreider's material in Beyond Freedom Evolution and Master of Destinies. It starts out with a whole section on decision. Bob Proctor, early on in his premium programs, all about decision, and on it goes. Whether, Jack Canfield, oh, the list goes on and on and on. Decision, decide. This is a problem. This is a big, big problem. Bob Proctor says decisions, or the lack of them, are responsible for the breaking or making of many a career. Individuals who have become very proficient at making decisions without being influenced by the opinions of others are the same people whose annual incomes fall into the 6 and 7 figure category. He goes on to say, however, it's not just your income that is affected by decisions. Your whole life is dominated by this power. The health of your mind and body, the well-being of your family, your social life, the type of relationships you develop, all are dependent upon your ability to make sound decisions. So you'd think this would be, something that's taught in schools and in, not only elementary schools, but educational institutions of higher learning, but it's not. We have to really develop this mental ability and get out of this ambivalence, that contradictory attitudes. Well, I feel, you know, uh, so much going in this direction, and I feel so much going in that direction. I just can't make up my mind. And what do? We go ask other people, and they don't know. They don't know, but we ask them, right? We're asking friends, we're asking family members, we're asking strangers in the street. I saw it the other day in the store. I'm in the store, and this person asked somebody else they don't even know, a stranger walking down the aisle, "Well, which one of these do you think I should get?" They don't even know them. They don't know their background, wisdom gained through life experiences, or any of that. But we don't know. But for some strange reason, we think somebody else, even the stranger in the store, knows better than we do. So we start asking them. Well, we should guide ourselves to that place of infinite intelligence, that indwelling counselor, if you will, that we find by tapping into our subconscious mind. Decision making brings order to your mind. It's very simple. And when we make decisions and we have this order in our mind, they show up in our results. How can you expect to have something on that want list, that goal list or that objective? Let's say you did decide on something, but you're still ambivalent. You're still going back and forth. Yeah, I decided I really want this, but this other one thing's really calling to me. Because when I work with individuals or corporations, I say, let's work on no more than two things at a time: a personal goal and a professional goal. Right? The personal goal helps keep the individual motivated for what they want in their life, and when we're working on culture, a professional goal or career goal, that keeps them in their head in the game, and as a team works out very, very well. But if we're going back and forth, there are no results, right? We're splitting our time. We're serving two masters. Call it what you want. If we don't know where we're going, it's like pulling out a map and just, I can drive in circles. Who knows where I end up? Not making a decision is really deciding by default. It's letting the universe, it's letting other people, it's letting the stranger walking down the aisle in the grocery store decide for you, rather than taking the time and making the decision. Now, I love this article by Bob Proctor because he goes on to talk about how most people are guided by circumstances. Think about this. This is really, really powerful. Most people let circumstances make decide for them what they want and what is possible for them. So he talks about. In fact, I'll read this. He says, "I was," and this is within Bob Proctor's article on decision. He says, "I was just hours ago in an office with three people. We were discussing the purchase of shares in a company. I was selling, they were buying. After a reasonable amount of time, one of the partners asked me when I wanted a decision. I replied, 'Right now.' I said, 'You already know what you want to do.' Well, there was some discussion about money. I pointed out that money had nothing to do with it. Once you make the decision, you will find the money every time. If that is the only benefit you receive from this particular message on decision making, burn it into your mind. It will change your life. I explained to two of these people that I never let money enter my mind when I am deciding whether I will or will not do something. Whether I can afford it or not is never a consideration. Whether I want to or not is the only consideration. You can afford anything. There is an infinite supply of money. All of the money in the world is available to you when the decision is firmly made. If you need money, you will attract it." Isn't that powerful? And think about it, because I used to be in that corner, letting the circumstances decide. And we see this all the time. All you got to do is look on social media. It doesn't matter whether it's LinkedIn or Facebook or Twitter, whatever it is. Somebody's calling for something, and everybody, the herd, moves to that lack and limitation consciousness. The first question out of most people's mouth is, "How much is it?" They don't have all the facts. They don't know about anything, right? No details. Well, I'm going to make a decision on circumstances. If it's too much, my circumstances says no, I can't do that. So that's what I'm going to base my decision on. And I'm inviting you to look at how often do you do this? How often do you restrict what you want by letting the circumstances that you are temporarily experiencing dictate which way you will go? Don't let that happen when you're deciding. Again, my question is, what did you decide? What did you come up with when you examined the longing and discontent in your life and what you want to create for the year ahead, for the next couple months, for the year ahead, the year approaching? Start now with a deliberate design. Set the intention and then commit to it. But you have to decide before you can do any of that. If you say, yeah, here it is, this is it, I want this, I've been wanting it 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, and then you probably all the excuses are going to come up. Well, I didn't. Why? Well, the pandemic did this, I didn't have any money. What are we doing? We're going to circumstances and using circumstances and finding a whole bunch of circumstances to use excuses for why we don't yet have what we want to experience. We have let circumstances dictate what's possible for our lives. You know, when I was talking about what do you want, perhaps you remember, maybe you want to go back and listen to it. I mean, I talk about this in a lot of shows. Do not let the how play a part in what is possible for you. So many people say, well, what I really, really, really want to do, I want to be a best-selling, New York Times best-selling author, but I have no idea how. How is none of your business. You don't even consider how. The how will show up, the money will show up, the circumstances will move out of the way when you make a committed decision. And in most cases, that's absolutely all it takes. Everything else will move into place. Remember, order is heaven's first law. Everything else will move in to support the committed decision. I have seen this happen over and over and over and over and over again. But you have to decide. You have to decide for you. No more excuses. No more looking at circumstances. No more asking questions like, how much is it? I'm going to let that decide. Make a committed decision and everything will show up. Bob Proctor says in this article, I made a decision a long time ago that I would not participate in discussions of why something cannot be done. The only compensation you will ever receive for participating in or giving energy to that type of discussion is something you do not want. I always find it amazing at the number of seemingly intelligent people who persist in dragging you into these negative brainstorming sessions. In one breath, these people tell you they seriously want to accomplish a particular objective. And in the next breath, they begin talking about why they can't. Think of how much more of life they would enjoy by making a decision that they will no longer participate in that type of negative energy. You know, our results are speaking to what we decide. We think in private. James, spit it out. William James, author of As a Man Thinketh, and psychiatrist. You know, he said that we think in private, but really we don't. We think we decide, but really we don't. What shows up in our results shows the world what we've been thinking and what decisions that we have made, right? We make some great decisions if we do make them, or maybe we make some poor decisions. But either way, the results of those decisions will be on display. And experiencing the lack of what you want is a result of not making the decision, the committed decision. So I see I'm running out of time here, but this is so important. And that's why I wanted to dedicate a whole show just to decision. Now, yeah, things will come up. Things will come up. Paradigms will come up. Habits will come up. But making the commitment to a decision, a committed decision, setting the intention, I mean, there is magic in that. I often share the quote by W.H. Murray. I don't have time to share it right here. I'll put it in the next episode. But boy, oh boy, do things start to move. I always talk about action, reaction. That's the place where, I don't call it what you will, the law of mind action, the law of attraction. You step out and you enter into the frequency of a committed decision and intention. Yes, I am going to do this. Here it is. Bam. I wrote it down. I am so happy and grateful. I am now. You write it down in the present tense. You've decided, and that's what you're going to go to work on. You have no idea how, because the whole idea of it scares you and excites you at the same time, but it's what you really, really want that will satisfy that longing and discontent you perhaps feel. But things start to move. That attraction begins working to support the committed decision. I have seen this so many times. Remember, action, reaction. But it's what precedes this action, reaction, this law of attraction and all of the law of mind action. It's what precedes that is important. We have to make the committed decision. So stop asking the questions that limit you. How much is it? Look at my circumstances. What about the pandemic? What I can't because of this. No, there's no way I got the time to do that. Stop it. Stop with the excuses and decide what you want. What is it? Let me help you with that. Reach out to me. Successappointment.com gets you right on my calendar. It'll show up in your time zone. Successappointment.com. You can reach out to me at Stephen@successocean.com, Stephen @successocean.com. You can go to the website for the show, thegenesisfrequency.com. You can find me out there. I am available. I am not hiding behind a microphone. Make an appointment with me. Hey, if you want a vehicle to step into this wonderful world of being an entrepreneur, working anywhere in the world with a laptop and phone, enter into that laptop, phone, cell phone lifestyle, working on a yacht, working on the golf course, working on the patio or by the pool. I have the vehicle for that as well in the personal and professional development industry. And no, you don't have to start a podcast. You can go to successocean.biz to find out more about that. But it's here. It all starts, no matter what direction you want to go, no matter what you want in your life, no matter what you think you want, even if you can't decide what you want, it all starts with a call to me and having a discussion, doing some discovery work, letting me give you some questions to ponder, to think over. And there's no charge for this. So I don't know why more people don't reach out, but I'm inviting you again to reach out. Let's have that conversation. For now, hey, we're going to wrap it up. We've come to the end of another episode of the Genesis Frequency, and I want to thank you so much for listening. I am profoundly grateful. We just went over 25,000 downloads. We're ranking in countries all over the world. So thank you for coming back again and again and telling people about this show and making it a success. And here's to more success moving forward. This is Dr. Cause and Effect, Dr. Stephen J. Kosmina, and you've been listening to the Genesis Frequency. I wish for you an infinitely spectacular day.